fully understand what it's about.
Every time I touch the ball, I'm thinking I'm going to score.
And this is our chance to write our part of the story.
The wheels, ball, goes, touchdowns!
Like he looks like he wants to take someone's head off.
Oh, picked up! Into the mix! Dante McClellan!
It's high tide in Columbia as the Missouri Tigers prepare for number 8 Alabama. We welcome you inside the Tiger Kickoff Show. Jacob Siciliano joined alongside the Missourian beat writers plus Tyson Ellison. Hey. Chase James is currently in New York City, New York. So we brought in one of my favorite people and one of the smartest minds in the Missouri football scene, former Missouri Tiger linebacker, Cotton Bowl winning champ, Tyson Ellison.
Finally off the bench. It feels good to be on this side of the camera. I'm excited to join you guys as we talk about one of the most exciting games here in Faurot in a minute.
It's nice to add another ball knower to the panel.
Absolutely.
And we're also adding some new threads. We got new Tiger Kickoff Show shirts that we're debuting today. The grays. Tyson's got his gray pants to match. This was meant to be. This was meant to happen.
Yeah, you look like you just recorded a new season of The Bear. You look like an executive chef, man. Looking sharp, especially with the slick back hair and everything.
We're doing it Italian style. You know, we're making history here at the Tiger Kickoff Show, but this is also history for the Tigers and Alabama.
Yeah.
A top 15 matchup hasn't happened since 1979 in Columbia, Missouri. Is this the biggest game in the last, I don't know, decade for the Missouri Tigers?
Oh, decade, yeah, there's definitely an argument. And top 15, I just want to clarify, that's for the AP poll only, not the college football playoff, not the BCS. There have been multiple of those games. Tennessee game 2 years ago, the Oklahoma game in 2010. Those were BCS and college football playoff rankings that were in the top 15. But I think this goes to show games of this magnitude just don't come around very often. And it's really fun to be this excited about a football game, and deservedly so for the stakes of Saturday.
Z, what would a win against Alabama even mean?
Well, it would mean a great deal. I mean, you look at how good Alabama has looked this year, but I was going to say a game this big in players this big, I think it's legitimately, I think it's not crazy at all to say Ahmad Hardy is clearly in the Heisman talk now. And on the other side, Alabama's quarterback, Ty Simpson, certainly should be in the Heisman talk. He's looked like the best quarterback in college football thus far. So you have big-time players. It's a big-time game. This is a spot where Missouri is finally able to prove something. For the first time this year, they have the 108th strength of schedule this year. Alabama has the 3rd. Missouri can make a real statement this weekend and jump up in the polls, and nobody can take that away from them if they get this win this weekend.
Tyson, is this a trap game for Alabama?
I saw that online. You may have seen my tweet about it. I think there's no way that a top 15 matchup could ever be considered a trap game, especially not with the talent you've got on either side. Like Zach just said, a Heisman contender on either sideline. This is not a trap game. This is one of those competitions between two of the best teams in college football where you see who really earns that spot in the top 15.
Well, the Tigers have not had a lot of success against Alabama historically. Let's take a look at the history between the Tigers and Bama. You have to go back to 1975. The last time the Missouri Tigers beat Alabama, the price of gas was 53 cents, and the Edmund Fitzgerald was sailing the Great Lakes. Yeah, the legend lives on.
The Blue Note also did not exist. I think Harpo's was like 4 years old. It's been a very, very long time. And as we see through this graph, Alabama's dominated. They haven't just won, they've dominated.
Yeah, dominated. They've won by over 2 scores in every single matchup they've played in the SEC.
And the one I want to point to on there is, of course, last year, 2024, 34-0. There's going to be something to prove this week.
Drink definitely always has something to prove. Let's hear what he has to say about the matchup.
I mean, you look at every game. We've looked at, the beauty of the bye week is to look at every game that they've played. From last year, really starting with us and how they tried to defend us and did an excellent job. And then you look to see if there's common themes that people have tried to exploit. Obviously, Coach Malzahn has his own type of system in place, which creates a little bit of a challenge to try to replicate what he did. But I think the biggest thing is to watch the jump from week 1 to weeks 2, 3, 4. and are really not even the same team. The way they played versus Wisconsin and Georgia and Vandy in comparison to week one, it looks like a totally different team. Obviously, I think getting the big man back in the middle, Keenan, I think he is a complete difference maker for them. And I think that was big for them on the defensive side of the ball. But you can they know who they are.
Missouri will need to be sharp to beat the Tide, so let's talk about it in Elite Edge. Huge game for the Tigers. What's their elite edge, Quentin?
I think Mizzou can dominate along the offensive line. Alabama's defensive line has really struggled generating pressure and living in backfields. Mizzou has done the complete opposite on their defensive line. And so I think Mizzou can really win, especially running the ball, which Zach is about to talk about in a second, creating holes and creating space, just as Florida State did in week one and just as Georgia did a couple of weeks ago, able to generate 227 rushing yards on 16 fewer carries than Florida State had.
I mean, let's keep it simple. Missouri's elite edge is in the run game. They have the most explosive backfield in college football. We talk all the time about how Ahmad Hardy leads college football in missed tackles and all these categories, yards, rushing offense. Everywhere you look, Ahmad Hardy leads. But Jamal Roberts, too, has 48 carries for 350 yards. Alabama's #1 running back, Jam Miller, only has 38 carries for 182 yards. Jamal Roberts trumps him. In Missouri's run game, that's what they're going to have to rely on. Alabama's linebackers, Alabama's run defense have had trouble stopping the run. If Missouri is able to successfully run the ball, it gives them a huge advantage in this game, and I think they are the better rushing offense.
I think it's really easy to break it down. Bouncing off of what you said, the run defense for Mizzou is their elite edge, and it has been this entire season. You look at the games that have been played so far, only one game with over 100 rushing yards allowed. This Mizzou front seven is dangerous. And when you talk about a team who hasn't really established their identity on the ground, Mizzou is going to have a field day.
Let's move quickly here through the elite edge for the Tide as they come in to face a Tigers team that's only lost once at home in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think their aerial attack is where they can create a huge advantage. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, even Josh Cuevas, the tight end, and then obviously Ty Simpson throwing the ball, which I think these two gentlemen are going to talk more about. Mizzou hasn't proven itself, at least on the back end. This is the toughest test they will face so far this season.
I'll keep it real short and sweet for you. Ty Simpson is a better quarterback than Bo Prabula passing the ball. He's averaging over 300 yards per game. As we talked about, he's a real Heisman candidate, contender. Should be the front runner, in my opinion. Ty Simpson is the guy, and Missouri's pass defense is going to have to stop him today. Their elite edge is passing the ball.
I think that the one-on-one matchups that you'll see on this field is the elite edge. When you see Alabama offense or defense down the field 20-plus yards, one-on-one, Alabama is the clear winner in those contested catches and contested balls on defense. So one-on-one matchups is the elite edge.
There's one guy, there's one name specifically that I have that's going to be an elite edge. That's Ahmad Hardy. Here's what he had to say about this week's matchup.
It's really nuts to prepare for. We just do what we do. I mean, prepare for what we do every week to execute, to come ready to play. Yeah, that's just what we do.
Ahmad, given a choice, would you rather go around a guy or through a guy?
I'll probably go through him.
Well, that's just Ahmad Hardy for you guys. He has broken tackles all year long. He runs through guys. The rushing attack has been the key for Missouri offensively this season. So let's play a little game into the Tigers' success. How many rushing attempts will the Tigers need in order to beat Alabama? We'll start with you, Quentin. How many carries?
I think the flow of the game is really going to dictate how many carries Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Robertson, whoever else has. If they are controlling the pace of the game, I think we're going to see closer to 40, maybe even 50. If they get behind schedule on early downs, I think that's where we could see even less. I'm going to go between 40 and 50.
Do you think that there's a direct correlation between how much Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Robertson, Bo Prabula run the football and the success of the Tigers on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the more they run the ball, the more they're probably winning and doing well.
Yeah, I'll bounce off of that. I think that's a perfect line you said because I think they'll carry the ball about 45 times. I know game script is important, but it's important for Missouri not to dictate or not to shy away from their area of strength, which is running the ball. We've seen it all year. That's where they excel. Give Hardy the ball, give Jamal Roberts the ball, let Bo Prabula use his feet. Even if they go down, let's say 2 scores, don't shy away from that. Don't shy away from running the ball. It's worked for you all year. You have to continue running the ball to win this game.
I would say I'm expecting 46 carries in this game, just to one-up Zach.
Move that horse.
I truly believe that with this team, Bo Pribula is going to have to scramble to be successful. You're going to have to improvise, and then Ahmad Hardy and Jamal are going to have their way with this run defense.
I think I've got Ahmad Hardy going for a lot of carries. I've got the Tigers as a whole going for over 50 carries. I think if Missouri is going to win this football game, it's going to have to come through the ground. It's going to have to come through the defense. Obviously, Alabama, strong passing attack. For Missouri to win this football game, they need to control the time of possession, let that front seven work, defensively shut down the run, but then control it with Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Roberts, and Bo Pribula. Let's take it to the numbers on how these teams stack up on the season as we step aside.
Did I say Ahmad Hardy? Did I say Missouri?
Welcome back. You saw the numbers there between the Tide and the Tigers. Let's take a second and talk. How does Missouri win this football game? I think that's the question everyone's asking right now.
I think if they remain two-dimensional on offense, we haven't seen them be one-dimensional, mostly because they've been turning other teams one-dimensional on the other side of the ball. I think if Mizzou is able to remain ahead of schedule on early downs, able to turn, 3rd and 8s into 3rd and 2s or 3rd and 1, where it can be more manageable and they can keep moving the sticks. We just haven't seen Mizzou behind schedule a lot, and I do worry a little bit if that does happen because Bo Pribula has been prone to some mistakes, as we've seen over the past 3 games.
I'm going to call an audible on what I was going to go with before the show because I think it's really important for Missouri to get off to a fast start. After last year's whooping at Alabama, they lost 34-0, couldn't even score a point in that game. You need to start fast. Mizzou's done it all year. Kirby Moore has looked excellent scripting opening drives this year. I want to see Missouri get the ball, and I want to see them score early on and continue that momentum.
It's the earliest kick of the year for the Tigers, 11 a.m. Does that change anything for Missouri?
For Missouri, I don't know if that changes anything, especially coming off a bye week. For Alabama, I think it's a little bit of a weird spot. You go from 2 primetime games, I know it was 2:30 last week, but 2 primetime games against Georgia and Vandy, and you have to get up early on the road at Columbia. I'm not going to say they're not going to get up because it's a top 15 matchup, and we obviously know what's at stake here, but I think it could change more for Alabama than it does Missouri.
How big of an issue is the secondary going to be for the Tigers against this Alabama passing attack?
Well, it depends. And a lot of credit to Coach Russell and the strength staff. I think that Mizzou, if you look at the X's and O's, they're going to win this game because they are stronger, tougher at the point of attack. So in this game, the secondary hopefully doesn't have to play as big of a role because if you look at the defensive line for Alabama, they're getting pushed around by offensive lines across the SEC in the run game. So that secondary, they shouldn't have to cover for more than 4 seconds or this team is cooked against Alabama. You cannot allow Ty Simpson to have that much time in the pocket to set his feet. If you can win at the defensive line and force him off the spot so he can't set his feet, then you win the game.
Coach Russell helped you with these guns here, Mr. Ellison, back in the day?
Absolutely did. I would say Coach Russell deserves a lot more credit for his job and his role on the team. That elite edge starts with Coach Russell.
Elite edge is very much a Tyson Ellison segment, but also take it to the grave. And usually around this time, I stand here, I talk about how great this man is and Tyson Ellison. But you know what, Tyson? Why don't you pitch to yourself today?
You're about to hear from Cotton Bowl champion, Music City Bowl champion, somebody who was
Chill. Oh, he's great.
Somebody who was in the locker room last time Alabama played Mizzou.
He's done. It's Sideline Study Hall with Tyson Ellison. Take it.
Come back in time with me to after Mizzou beat South Carolina, and I asked you what Mizzou had to do to beat the top 15 rankings. Well, half of the Mizzou audience, they're used to being underrated. They said you'd have to beat the Philadelphia Eagles to make the top 15. The other half had one clear goal in mind: beat Bama. This week, we found out all Mizzou had to do was sit at home during the bye week, and now you've got a top 15 matchup at home. but you have an opportunity to prove you belong in the top 15 at home with the Stadium Pulse against Alabama. And just like Zion Young is pointing at Ty Simpson, the whole Mizzou team should be focused on stopping this man here in the backfield. He is a dangerous threat with his arm, and pair that with the receivers that he's throwing to. Watch Ryan Williams attack this football here in one-on-one coverage. They're going to win those vertical routes down the field, and it's going to be tough to play defense when those explosive plays happen. Ty Simpson's processing doesn't get enough credit. Watch this. Linebacker comes down, or that's a safety. He notices the safety, pulls the running back in. Now safety has to bail back out. They change the play. Alabama changes their play as well. It's a chess match. So when the ball is snapped here, you should recognize this play if you play video games. Everybody abuses it online. This is that verticals concept, except the tight end starts in the core. But what Ty Simpson does so special here on this play, 4th and 7, you think he's going to throw to one of these vertical routes. Instead, he recognizes its zone coverage. He'll throw behind the first down marker and allow that tight end to make that play. Just a good read of the defense there by Ty Simpson. You don't want him to use his brain in this game if you beat him. So you're going to start moving people around the defensive line. This time the two defensive tackles switch sides and the offensive line can't communicate. So that's an easy sack there. You have to get to Ty Simpson early, and if you don't, you can gamble and be aggressive because he wants to set his feet in the pocket. So watch this defensive end overrun the quarterback, but that's okay because when Ty Simpson steps up, there he is, sitting there with a huge tackle, and that's another sack. They had multiple in that game. Defensively, Alabama's just as dangerous down the field. On those vertical routes, you'll see either side of their secondary can win these one-on-one routes. No matter what side of the field, what time of the game, it's going to be hard to get separation against this talented secondary that Alabama has. He earned that seatbelt celebration there. What you're going to do is take what this defense gives you, right? Play the zone and take what is there and nothing more. This is not the game for Bo Pribula to extend his average depth of target. Watch Pavia on this play. Notices here right at the first down marker, that's only a 10-yard throw, but there's so much space to make that completion, so you're gonna take that pass and allow the receiver to get yards after the catch. That's 15 plus yards there on this play. How you beat this Alabama defense? Little secret. They don't like to stop the run. They're not very good at it. Watch here on this play. D lineman, linebacker, safety. Right? They're all going to play a factor in this touchdown for Vanderbilt. How does that happen? Well, defensive lineman gets double teamed here. What that means for the linebacker is he has to pull the double team off, which means shoot through this gap should be his tackle. Safety is playing this outside gap as well, making sure there's no space for the running back to run to. Only problem with that hypothesis is the linebacker gets stuck on the offensive line. Defensive lineman got blocked all the way up to the safety. That is bad ball. So now nobody can affect this run. Cedric Alexander for Vanderbilt is going to be free, streaking down the field for 60 plus yards and a touchdown. But this is not a fluke. This team cannot stop the run. So example number 2, tight end now in a one-on-one block with the linebacker. He's going to pull across this offensive line, get into the fold there, and watch, boom, one-on-one matchup. He's got lower hands, he has leverage on the block, so when Pavia tries to run through that gap, guess what happens? He's free, untouched at that line of scrimmage. Imagine Ahmad Hardy untouched at the line of scrimmage, what he's going to do to that secondary. It's not going to be fun for them to play against. So this is the biggest factor. Mizzou comes into this game with something to prove. Jacob, back to you.
Tyson, thank you for Sideline Study Hall, because now it's time for us to take I think my least favorite part of test taking is when they have the fill in the blank, and you can put whatever it is. There's no answer bank. You have to know the answer to the question. So out of Sideline Study Hall, we have the test maker right here. Tyson gave us all the answers. So let's see if you can answer these fill in the blanks correctly. And here's the answer key. There is no wrong answer. Yes. Quentin, you'll start. Blank is the key for Missouri to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Creating a massive gap in rushing success. They have done that so much through these first 5 games of the season, and I think they could do it again. It's just about whether they could stop the pass on defense and whether Bo Pribula can elevate his game passing the ball himself.
Zach, for you, if blank happens, Missouri automatically loses.
If Missouri fails to get pressure on the quarterback, they automatically will lose this game. If Ty Simpson is allowed to pick apart this secondary that we've seen struggle against lesser competition, it's going to be over for Missouri. They're top 5 in pressure rate with Damian Wilson and Zion Young. Those two need to get pressure against the number 10 offensive line according to Pro Football Focus in college football. So that's what needs to happen.
And for you, Tyson, blank is the player that decides this game.
It's chalk, but it's Ty Simpson. I mean, he's the reason this offense goes. He's going to give Mizzou the most trouble as an opposing coaching staff trying to scheme against this guy. It's Ty Simpson who can decide this game, or his lack of effectiveness that Mizzou causes.
One last one for you, Quentin. This game will tell us blank about the Missouri Tigers.
Whether they're for real in the college football playoff race. I think a win elevates them right into the thick of it. And I don't think exactly books their ticket to Atlanta and or the college football playoff, but they're at the very least in the passenger seat, if not the driver's seat, to get to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, probably.
Well, the blanks are filled in. We'll see if they're right on Saturday. It's time now to fill in the blanks for Take It to the Grave. And we have not graded well in this segment so far, but hey, Alabama, it's a big week. The pressure's on the Tigers. We got the pressure on us too. Quentin, what's your take it to the grave?
Alabama has allowed a ton of explosive plays on the ground. I think that continues on Saturday. Give me Mizzou to tally at least 5 carries of at least 10 yards. Georgia had 8 a couple weeks ago, and I think they'll get to at least more than half of that this week.
I'm going to piggyback on this, and this seems obvious to us, I think all of us. But the line for Ahmad Hardy's rushing yards is 99.5, and I would be stunned if Ahmad Hardy doesn't rush for 100 yards. He's going to be a part of the game plan. I don't care if Alabama stacks the box. Tyson just talked about it in Sideline Study Hall. Hardy's going to have rushing opportunities. He's going to have rushing lanes. If he doesn't get to 100 yards, Missouri's going to lose the game. I would be shocked if he doesn't get 100 yards rushing. That's my ticket to the grave.
And my ticket to the grave is an exact inversion. I've got Alabama with less than 100 rushing yards. We talked about it. Jam Miller, not the most impressive statistically. And if Mizzou's going to win this game, they first have to force Alabama to be one-dimensional, and the run game is simply not it. Alabama under 100 rushing yards.
Tyson, I am so proud of you. It's your first take it to the grave, meaning that if you're wrong, you're going to have to do the punishments that you've watched us do for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think I know ball, right? I hope so.
We'll find out. We'll find out. I hope that you're right and Alabama stays under 100 rushing yards, but I also really, really hope you're wrong. You heard it earlier. I think the Tigers' key to winning this game is going to be on the ground. I have the Tigers winning this game. We'll get to predictions later, but I think the Tigers run the football at least 40 times in this football game. So it can be over 40 rushing attempts for the Missouri Tigers. That's it for Take It to the Grave. There is a special return happening here in Columbia, Missouri. SEC Nation is coming back to Como for a top 15 showdown. Let's hear from SEC Nation as they return.
Hey, Paul Feinbaum here. Can't wait to come back to Columbia, Missouri. I thought the first trip was one of the greatest we ever had.
What's up, Missouri fans? It's Laura Rutledge. We are so excited to bring SEC Nation back to you again. You guys showed out in an incredible way when we were there week 2, and I'm expecting even more fans at our SEC Nation site this time around because it's Alabama, guys. You got to bring it. Show us what you're made of. SEC Nation is in town this Saturday. We'll be there Friday, too. We cannot wait to see all of you.
Show us what you're made of. That's what Laura Rutledge says, and I think that's what a lot of Missouri Tiger fans are anticipating from this game. What are the season implications, and what will this game tell you about the Missouri Tigers?
I think that if they win, that'll prove that they are truly championship made. Again, these kinds of games don't come around very often around here. And last year, one thing that eluded Mizzou was a signature win that they could have in their back pocket come college football playoff time. If they have 2 or 3 losses, they could pull that out and be like, hey, we beat Alabama for the first time since 1975. And so I think when you get to those playoff discussions and you might be on the fence about a team, having that signature win is going to be super duper important.
On the other side of that, though, I want to make it clear that if Missouri loses this game, it doesn't end their season. Not at all. They still have plenty of opportunities to make up for this. What can't happen? They can't come out and get 34-0'd, which I am not saying that's going to happen. I know last year was on the road, completely different teams, but they can't get blown out in this game. It has to be competitive, but a competitive loss doesn't kill you. It really doesn't, especially with Vandy and Auburn on the road the next 2 weeks. They have opportunities to make it up, but this needs to be a competitive game.
Tyson, how close does this game need to be to say that Missouri is a college football playoff contender?
It definitely can't be 34-0. That stings, and it affects like the culture. People are saying Mizzou hasn't played anybody all year, so in your first true contender to lose by a margin of 21 or more, I think is unacceptable. I think that this game does stay close. Within 14, it's still Alabama, and you still have time throughout the season to prove your worth as a football team as SEC play continues.
All right. Well, now it's the time that everyone's waited for, predictions. Who's going to win this football game? Quentin, we'll start with you.
I think Mizzou can win. I think Columbia will be electric. If they do win, I do not think they will win.
Yeah.
I am taking the Tide 35-31. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. Ty Simpson just terrifies me, man. That guy, he doesn't just throw checkdowns and dump offs. Like, he lets that thing rip. And it's to parts of the field that Mizzou has really struggled defending so far this season and on numerous occasions. And so I just think that is going to outweigh the successes Mizzou might have on the ground. Give me the Tide 35-31.
I've personally tossed and turned in my sleep the last 3 nights thinking about making this pick, especially after picking Kansas and being wrong on that. But ultimately, after going back and forth about 25 times in the last hour, I'm going to go with Missouri to win. I'm going to go Missouri wins 35-31. I definitely am a fan of the over in this game. 51 points just feels too low. I don't think either of these defenses is capable of stringing together enough stops. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think Missouri strikes last, and I think Ahmad Hardy has a huge day.
Personally, I think this game is going to be very close. Every possession matters. It's going to be very valuable. I've got Mizzou winning 31-28. I think they kick a field goal. I think Alabama has the ball last and can't convert. I think Mizzou makes a stop when it matters, and that's how Alabama loses at Faurot Field.
Robbie Meyer, how long's the field goal?
Robbie, California.
I think it's going to be just long enough that people would say, Robbie Meyer, excellent kick.
Okay.
I've got the Robbie Meyer field goal as well. I also have 31-28.
You just copied him.
Yeah, he's a good guy to copy. Are you kidding?
I mean,
he's a great guy. He's a great guy to copy. I think ultimately it comes down to, again, Ahmad Hardy running the football. If the Tigers can follow the blueprint that Florida State had week 1 against Alabama, Eli Drinkwitz says that they're a completely different team than they played week 1 against FSU, but I think if the Tigers can just exploit that run defense from the Tide, the scores will drop lower into the 30s in what can be a very high-scoring game, and the Tigers have a shot to win. But it all rests on the shoulders of Ahmad Hardy, who was out with the horses last night, and I think he's going to be a horse against Alabama. We thank you so much for watching this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. A big thanks again to our 2 Missourian beat writers in Quentin Corpuel, Zach Sweet, and our Missouri football insider, analyst, expert, Tyson Ellison. You can catch us all over on social media, and we thank you for watching this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. M-I-Z.